Welcome to the Ann Lynn Show. On today's show, we welcome Ari, 55. Ari is an incredible photographer. He's catching things that can be explained and some that can't. If you haven't already done so, go over and subscribe to Ari55's channel. And now, here are Ann and Lynn. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Lynn, are you ready to coffee clink in?
I am.
Got it? All right. Ready? We are blessed, aren't we? Clink.
Clink.
Good morning, everybody. Got your coffee? I'm gonna have a sip right now.
Oh, hey, I want to give a shout out.
Yes.
We have Helen here today. We have Barefoot Lass, the Majors here all the way from London. Yes, welcome. Are you ready? Either buckle up today, put your seatbelt on and buckle up, or let it go and just go with the flow today, because we have exciting guests this morning, don't we?
Oh, my goodness. We've been backstage, as they say, with our guest, and we have been having an excellent time.
We sure have.
And I'm going to change something real quick.
Okay.
And
are you ready, everyone?
I'm ready. I am ready. I'm ready. I'm going to get this going right now. And right now, welcome to the Ann Lynn Show. Reid, a.k.a. Ari, 55. Yes, bring us in, Reid. I gotta turn it up, man. That's great.
Yeah!
Yay! Welcome,
Reid.
And I know he's got his coffee ready too.
We'll give him just a second there, and
I've got to switch my microphone around.
Okay. Oh, goodness. This is going to be an awesome show, you guys.
Yes.
Get your questions ready. Get your questions. Yeah, you could be just a little bit louder. Just a little louder.
All right. Is that better?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty soft spoken. It's hard for me to get loud.
You gotta be loud with us today. Loud.
Yeah. Two loudmouth ladies.
Oh. Excuse me, Lynn.
Well, come on. We're not known for being too quiet.
I enjoy your shows. Really, I do. I started watching your last guest. You had Bob Wells, after I started watching his shows about living in a van, living a camping life. I used to camp out, primitive camping, and that was my favorite thing to do. But
well, that's what a lot of these people do. And then there's others that have big rigs, they're just all different. And there's like thousands, tens of thousands of people that do this full time. And, you never know if you're going to be forced into that or if you want to do it by choice. So, but anyhow, we're so happy to have Reid here today, everybody. This is Reid, Ari55. And he's an incredible, what you said, photographer. He's caught a lot of great things. We're just going to let you start, Reid, and just go ahead and tell us about yourself. Tell everybody who you are.
Okay. Well, let me tell you that I started on a railroad job about, it's like 1978. So I worked on the railroad for a long time. It's like I retired in 2011. So all this time I worked as a locomotive engineer mostly. And I probably got over 1 million miles on me running down the railroad on a train.
I have to tell you, that would be my husband's dream job. He is a railroad nut.
People's asked me, how do you get a locomotive engineer's job? Back in 1978, you could still walk into the depot, a railroad depot, and ask if they had any jobs opening,
Mm-hmm.
And if there was, they would, sign you up. But here's how it happened for me. I had a friend. He was my guitar teacher too. I bought a guitar in 1977. That's when I started learning to play the guitar. I already knew music. I'd learned piano and I could play, or I could sing and stuff like that. But when it came to playing a guitar, I wanted some lessons. So my guitar teacher was telling me he had a friend that said we could get a job on the railroad. I'm like, I don't want to work on the railroad. My gosh, what are we going to do? But he goes, oh yeah, we can ride the trains. I'm thinking, ride the trains. Well, what am I going to do on a train? It's like, I was raised on a farm, so it's like, this is like big jump for me. Yeah. Let's go from the dairy farm to a railroad engineer. But that didn't happen that quick. But so me and my friend, we took off from Oklahoma. This is 1978. And we journeyed to western Nebraska. And we both quit our jobs. I had a job working in a factory making dog food and cat food for Ralston Purina, and had a pretty good job. I mean, it was third shift job, working 8 hours a day, and going nowhere really. But I said, okay, I'm going to quit this job, and you say we're going to get another job, in Lyons, Nebraska. And I'm thinking, okay, we'll do it. But by faith. I pray to God. I said, please, God, please help me on this.
Yes.
I'm not going to do it unless you help me. You give me the guidance, and we'll go. And so we ended up there in this town called Alliance, Nebraska. It's it's just a railroad town. 100 trains a day go in and out of that place.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a real busy place. Mostly coal trains. But I walk into this depot, and I asked this one person, "Is there any jobs riding the rails? As a conductor or engineer?" And all I got was this one man came running out of his office, and he was screaming. He was yelling. He was tired of having people come in wanting to ride the trains. All they want to do. So he's screaming at us. He's cussing at us. And I'm thinking, well, I don't want anything to do with this, but he goes, if you want a railroad job, if you want to work on the railroad, you're going to have to work as a track gang, work on the track gang, steel gang.
Oh.
Yeah. He said, that's the only job positions he has for anything right now. So I said, I'll take it, if that's all you got. Because I didn't have a job at the time, neither did my friend. So we started out as what they call Gandy dancers,
Gandy dancers.
Yeah, if you're out there pounding spikes into the railroad with your spike maul and your hands, you're getting worn out. Everything you touch is 100 pounds, So
whoa.
I worked with 100 men laying steel railway. We would work about, I don't know, we'd lay probably 20 miles a month. 20 miles. So that means I was walking up and down that 20 miles probably 2 or 3 times a month while we're pounding spikes into the railroad, picking up heavy bags of anchors and, big crates of spikes. There was so much machinery going on and laborers. it was a big construction project for sure. They were laying rail down that was been there for, since the early 1900s, 1930s and 1940s. And we were replacing it in the 1978.
So did you rode over the rails that you actually placed down then too, right?
I did.
Wow.
Wow.
This is in western Nebraska. We really, I worked on that part of the railroad in Nebraska, South Dakota, Wyoming, Colorado, and all these places. I got to run the trains on them rails.
Wow.
So you saw a lot of beautiful scenery too.
Oh yeah. My favorite spots, even though it was the hardest to work in, was the Badlands, going in South Dakota up into Wyoming. All those lands are hardest to get in and out of with a car or whatever, it's like the trains they had to blast, their way through these hills and stuff.
Yes.
And it's a lot of rock. We had tunnels we had to go through on the train.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of amazing. You look down a tunnel half a mile away and you just see a small, bit of light that you're going to go through. When you come out, we'd go in this one end of, like Wyoming and end up in, we'd be going into Guernsey, Wyoming. It was a pretty good town to go into with the railroad.
So did you sleep on the train or did you get off and stay at a hotel? I mean, how did that?
Yeah. Well,
who fed you? Were you on your own or did they have a cook or?
You better bring a lunch, but you could be working up to 12 hours on the railroad, as an engineer. You can only be on the train for 12 hours on duty. After that, they've got to get you off. I mean, sometimes it was hard to get you off and take you to your hotel. You would spend the night and get another train going back home.
Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I didn't either. I don't know. It was so. I'm going to get personal for a second. So, were you married during this period of time?
Yep.
And I mean, so that was very hard on. Was that hard on your family life to have to live?
Yeah. I started. Well, I had one child when I took off to become work on the railroad, and I had 3 daughters during that time I was on the railroad. So I missed a lot of their school functions sometimes, and I had to watch a lot of tapes of what happened. And of course I had 3 daughters, so they were always a lot of drama going around. So
I have 3 of my own. Yeah, I have 3 daughters, so I and they're 3 years apart. So we had a lot of drama, but it was also wonderful, and
it was so worth it, right? Anyway.
Well, I always worried about not being a good dad or a good father for my children, and I always voiced that to my daughters, and they're like, "Oh, you're a good dad. Just quit worrying about it." I was like, "Yeah, you're only saying that because I let you do mostly what you wanted to do."
Well, daddy's girls.
I couldn't say no very easy.
No. No, not to daddy's girls. But on the other side of that too, I imagine it was a good living. I assume that it would be, it was stable work, right?
It was very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
The men that it's mostly men too. There was a few women who worked on the railroad, and not very many. Even today, there's just a man-oriented field, but women can do it too. But it's
men just have more physical strength. I mean, that's all there is to it.
That's what it comes down to it. But there's some guys. There's some guys out there that can't do nothing either. But
sure,
yeah.
We all need
just
help.
like there's women that have the strength.
Sure.
I personally would not have.
Yeah.
But so it just depends on the person.
It takes I don't know. I like that kind of life, but somebody that didn't like that kind of life, it would be hard, really hard.
Well,
very.
Yes.
But to spend most of your life on a railroad, it's like I I had, when I added it all up, I probably spent 15 years away from home, 15 years in a hotel room.
Wow.
The rest of it was at home,
Sure.
or on the road.
Sure. Then how did you get up to the engineer position?
Well, to get off the maintenance away department that covers the track gangs and stuff, back then it wasn't easy. There was no way to really switch departments, but they were all union jobs. So they needed like 50 engineers, 50 more engineers all of a sudden. They needed to start hiring now. And so they started within the ranks, and they had these forms that you could fill out called This Way Up. And I kept filling one out, and then my boss threw it away. And I filled out another one, and it never got to the right people to look at it. So I finally filled out a third one and took it to the office myself and handed it over to this road foreman and asked him to put my application in for engineer. And he's like, "You sure you want this?" I'm like, "Yeah, it beats working on the steel gang. It's about to kill me out there." And I was only 20-something years old, but
wow,
still was hard.
Wow.
Oh yeah. But they took my application. That was in 1979, and I entered the engineers training program. It takes 6 months. We went to St. Paul, Minnesota, at the headquarters for Burlington Northern at the time was in St. Paul, Minnesota, and so Burlington Northern, we had to go up there for 3 weeks to be trained, with all these rule books and that was my first experience on a computer. They had a computer with these big old reel-to-reel,
Yes.
and they had a program that was like a little line. It was just a line on a computer screen going, "That's your train. Now you input this into there, you do," and they actually had a brake handle and a setup, stand with a throttle and all that. So everything you did with this throttle and this brake represented it on this line on that computer. And I'm like, this is nothing, It's like, that's the way computer simulations are back then. But even today, you look at a screen, you're looking like you're riding down the rails now. We had to go sit on a simulator so many times a year, or once a year anyway. So many hours we had to put in on a simulator. And that was to pass our qualification to stay qualified.
Wow.
The federal government licensed locomotive engineers to be licensed running down the railroad. The FRA, the Federal Railway Administration.
Reid, Maria C7 says, bet that you saw a lot of weird stuff as well during the day and night skies, ?
That's kind of funny because I never really seen much, it's like I was out there a lot of nights, early mornings. Yeah, believe me, I was looking. I thought I seen some things, but nothing that was concrete. The main thing I got to see was when these comets were. We had a few comets back in the 90s, I think it was, and even after Halley's comet. I was out there. Oh yeah, all these comets were coming through. It seemed like a lot. Like today, this last year we had a lot of comets. And when you get out there and look at these comets in the night sky, it's amazing just to watch them. And I got to see the Northern Lights up in Wyoming. That was amazing. I had to stop the train. I couldn't go nowhere. I was like, "Stop this train. I got to watch this for a second." We was gonna stop up ahead about 10 miles. I said, "I'm stopping right now." I'm.
Hey, Reid, what were you hauling on the train? Was it passenger? You said or coal. What was your?
Yeah, well, we started out with coal, but I ended up running fast freight. Mostly these containers. You see container trains, trailers,
cars on them.
Yep, Right.
Yeah.
These containers, they have anything. They
Mhm.
come from China, from overseas, and then we haul them to Chicago, and then they put them on trucks, and they take them all across the country. They put them in LA, and trucks take them from wherever they got to go.
Well, I'll
And
tell you, a job that I had, we ship stuff in containers sometimes, and they would drop off a container, and we'd fill it up, and the truck would
Yep.
come get it, take it to the railroad down and
Yep.
down the road, and put it on the train. So yeah, that's
what I did.
wow.
When they filled that train up, we would go pick up. Well, out of Chicago, we had 3 or 4 trains a day. We'd leave out of there with just full containers headed towards LA. And I would get the second leg of the traffic a lot of times coming from Chicago. It would come to Fort Madison, Iowa. Then I would hop on the train and take it to Kansas City, Missouri. And that's where I would get off and go home.
Wow.
So
that is.
So how is the train industry now as compared to then? Do you think?
Well, it's taken it hasn't really slacked off that much, except for when China was having a hard time shipping stuff over here. I'm sure it slacked off quite a bit, but it's like anything. Everything you have in your house just about came from a train usually, and then a truck. It came,
yes, right.
It came across this country from China. A lot of our stuff does.
Yes.
And then it's distributed to wherever it goes. But
Well,
they're still using a lot more trucks, and they can't get enough trucks to haul what they need.
That's right. They're always looking for truck drivers.
Sure.
Where I live in our small town, the trains have completely quit coming through our town.
Sure.
But I have to be careful. We have to be real careful when we go to our sons. They live about 150 miles from us, more north.
Yeah.
We have to be careful because the trains run there constantly. And so, we have to be more aware of the tracks because here we can kind of take it, there's no trains. We're okay. Now there's trains about 30 miles from us, but that's you're getting into a city area and there's trains that run there, but we're not there a lot. And so when we go to our son's house, we have to really pay attention to the train tracks because they do run there. Yeah.
And the ones that end up getting hit by the trains the most are the ones that live right by those very tracks, but they get so used to it.
Yes.
That they forget to look both ways, and here comes a train,
Yes. That's why we are so careful because, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, where we lived, where Lynn's at now, and along the way, there was a train depot in like every little city, every little town.
Oh, yeah.
And, and back, probably 100 years ago, I guess it's been, but it's kind of sad, that we still don't have that access, in a way, because it'd be so much easier.
There was only like, when I first started in 1979, I was training, and we actually had dark territory, which they had to have a depot every 20 miles or so because there was sightings in between these places, and they would have to give you train orders to tell you to stop in this sighting and wait for this train, and then you can go again. But if you didn't get your train orders and you just went on down the road, you would have a head on, because they didn't work on signals. They worked on train orders.
On people.
See, that was called dark territory. And of course, that was the last line that I worked on before they hooked up centralized traffic control, which is just signals. And they had automatic a block system set up, but that's not the same as being controlled by a dispatcher. Gives you permission to enter that block. So you had to have train orders. And today we still work with the engineers and conductor still work with train warrants, which gives them all the information they need to go down that track.
Okay.
Well, we could talk about this all day. It's interesting.
I have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
Let's see here. Cameraman wants to know, when you were out in the open, I think is what he said, open ranges, how fast was the train allowed to go?
I could go 70 mile an hour on the ones that I last I retired on. It was a high speed rail. Amtrak passenger trains went 90 mile an hour, but we ran 70 mile an hour all the time, basically.
That's pretty fast for a train. And you've got, how many train cars are you hauling?
Oh, we'd have maybe a mile and a half a train, So
that's fast for that.
And you probably got 7,000 to 8,000 tons going 70 mile an hour.
Yeah.
And you're going down a hill and you need to stop in 2 miles. You better start now,
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you messed around for half a mile, some places, you're in trouble. You'd have to go to emergency to stop the train. And it's happened. People not paying attention. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Well, how did you get taking into photography? Was that always a passion that you had? Or?
It has. I started playing the guitar in 1977, and it's about the same time I started with a 35 millimeter. I bought a good camera. I wanted some good family pictures, and so I started studying photography a little bit so I could be a better photographer. And so I've been doing it for a long time. But since digital has taken over everything in the last 20 years, that's another area that you have to really study up on, because you're working with ones and zeros on a computer, basically, with a digital camera, whether it be on a phone or one of these nice $1,000 cameras here.
Wow, that's your new camera, right?
Yeah. This one here is the one a lot of people want, that really super zooms out there. It's like, and it's got a big lens on it.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Well, Helen would like to know, when did you decide to document the sky?
Yes.
2017, I started taking pictures of, I bought a super zoom camera. The first one I bought was this little thing right here, and I used it for almost 3 years because there was a solar eclipse happening at that time. And in August the 21st, 2017, I was right in the middle of the country, right in the middle of the band of the eclipse that went across my land I own. So I'm out here right in the heart of where I could be in the middle of the eclipse. I didn't have to go nowhere. But I had friends from the city that wanted to come up. I had friends from Oklahoma that came up to visit. They wanted to be there. I had friends from Illinois that came down. I probably had like 20 people out here running around to want to see the eclipse, And I was like, oh boy, this is more than I thought, man, because a lot of people wanted to come see it too, but everybody was bummed out because it was getting cloudy. And I was like, have faith, come on, have faith. I've seen this get like this every day for a week. It'd be clouding up and all of a sudden it just clears off about noon. And the eclipse was happening about 1 o'clock. So I was like, please have faith. Quit thinking negative thoughts. It's going to happen. We're going to see this thing. And we did. It was beautiful.
Yes.
Have you ever been in a total eclipse of the sun? It's amazing.
Well, I watched this particular one from my yard, and it got, I guess I would say yes.
But was you right in the heart of it where you could see it?
We were in the we were in the Midwest. We could see most of it.
Right. Mm-hmm. Which is still amazing.
It went dark. It got dark for seconds or two.
When you see it actually disappear behind the shadow of the moon, all of a sudden now you're like, wow, what is going on here? It's like you feel the I've heard the chickens start crowing. The dogs will start howling. It's weird, but that's where it started for me. I'd actually been seeing things and trying to get it with my my phone.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, you don't get much with a cell
No.
phone when you're trying to get detail of an object in the sky. But
Mhm.
that's when it began really getting noticed for me. I was like, well, what are these things? So I started putting this camera to use. This camera here is it's only like a third, you know, of the zoom capability of this other one.
Mm-hmm.
This one here goes 40 times. The other one goes 125 times.
Oh,
Yeah. See, this one here is just good. But
wow.
this, I used this one probably for 3 years almost, and I still use it. If my other camera is not working right or something happens,
Mm-hmm.
I pulled this one out, and it's my backup. But I
Well,
enjoy
I've
it.
got some photos, a video that you
Yes.
took. Do you want to take a peek at these?
Sure.
I
Okay.
think they would really like to.
Now,
Yes.
this, okay, I'm gonna see. I see if this is the first one. I'm a little out of order, Reid. So I'm gonna turn this down. Oops, we'll turn it down so you can explain this. What are we looking at here? This is gorgeous. Look at that.
I usually just start it with a sunrise or sunset, but this is
That is so beautiful.
this is one of those mornings that's like, here's that object I was talking about. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
if it's bright enough to be seen in the day sky, the
Yeah.
sun's already up, then it's classified. If it's brighter than Venus, it's classified like a fireball.
Mm-hmm.
This is a
Oh.
magnitude that you can see in the daytime sky, though. I could no longer see Venus. Venus is already faded out into the sky. But when you see something bright hit your eye, that's what I said, the first a bright flash. It was
Mm-hmm.
out of the corner of my eye. I caught this. And so, you know, I think it's a celestial event going on, but I labeled it as a UFO. But
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Some people got their own terms for what they see in the skies. You know, the sky watcher community is pretty divided about, you know, certain things of what they
Sure.
label it. There's certain
Right.
people that watch it, and they, you know, they all got their opinions. I try not to use the people's names. You know,
Sure.
if they want to say something about me or my work, it's as long as it's good. You know, I'm not gonna say no.
Right.
Well, you know, we've seen something that was not of this world that we think,
Sure.
but we
Right.
don't, you know, who knows? You know, we don't know. I mean, there's
That
a lot,
story, yeah.
there's a
Your
lot
story.
happening in the sky, you know. Oh, got a little feedback there.
I'm sorry. I turned on the live feed here. I just want to watch, see.
Oh.
I want to see if there's live
Now,
chat.
look at that right there. Let me stop that.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you
Look
use
at
a
that.
computer program to, what I did here was take out the noise and the any type of distortion or and it just leaves a clearer picture of what you're trying to capture.
Mm-hmm.
This is all done with computer program, AI technology. So
Uh-huh.
this is a new technology that's been out for a while now, but not very many people are using it like I do.
Let that go. Wow, that is awesome. Okay, let's
They
take a
want to
peek.
know, what were you thinking when you saw this, Reid?
I was like, wow, what is it? You know, it's
Let's go
like
back to
because
it.
you don't never see stars after the sun comes up. Usually, you cannot see
Right.
anything brighten up the sky unless it's a fireball.
Yeah.
I've seen fireballs, but they go, you know, and they're gone. That this
Right.
thing,
Yes.
this thing was just, I don't know how far away it is. I don't know really what it is. It could be a celestial event going on.
Yes. Yes.
I have no idea. But I was in awe, you know. I was like, anytime I can see something with my eyes and be able to get it on video, you know,
Yes.
it's amazing to me.
It is. Yeah, that is just a wild picture. Now,
Amazing.
wait a minute. Let me
Amazing
go
work,
back.
they're
I
saying.
see something else. Okay, look. Oops, stop. Oh no, I hit the wrong button. What are those two objects? Let's see. Stop.
Those
Okay.
things,
See, yes.
yeah.
Do you see the two?
Right?
I don't know. Can you
know,
see my? You can't see my cursor.
Well, I can see the I
See
can
the
see
two
what you're talking about.
dots?
Yeah, I would say they're either pieces of whatever this thing is flying off, or they could be orb UFOs. I don't know.
Could that be an asteroid or a meteor?
Yeah, I
coming
believe
in?
so. It could be a whole
Space
bunch of.
junk?
Yep, it could be.
Uh-huh.
These things.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Lynn.
Reid, about, I don't know now, 2 or 3 years ago, Ann and our brother was,
Yeah.
he had gotten off from work. He's a second shift worker, and he had his little great grandson. He was still awake, I guess. He woke up, and so he's comforting him in his chair in the living room. And all of a sudden, he hears a tremendous noise. Let's just put it that way. I mean,
Right.
kaplowy. Well, he went into his bedroom, and they identified it as, what they identified Ann as?
I think it was space junk.
Space junk. Went through his roof, come down through his roof. This is in our little town.
Man.
It did water damage. He had to have
rained. He didn't find it until it had been raining, and he found water in one of this back bedroom. And he got to investigating, and there was a hole in his roof that went in his bedroom. I still have the hole.
I wish. Yeah.
Yeah. And it went, it just come right through his house, through the roof, into, was it in the wall, Lynn, or
it came right through the ceiling? It came through the ceiling. He had to have his whole bedroom
it went
had
through
to be
the
gutted.
Floor. Didn't it go through the floor?
The bedroom had to be gutted.
Yeah, it just went straight in. Because of the rain, he hadn't found it, and he found.
When did this happen? When did
was about 3 years ago.
Okay.
Give or take.
There has been a major uptick on all these objects coming into our atmosphere. I mean, every day almost I read or hear something that's hit or getting into our atmosphere, exploding now. So, yeah.
Well, his insurance company took care of everything, but I think it was classified as space junk, or was there another word for it? They thought it could have come off of an airplane. They had no idea. They had no idea.
And they never.
Here's
the thing. They never. But they never found the object.
Never found the object.
It's probably buried underneath his house somewhere.
And we wondered about radioactivity. I was kind of like, did they not check that?
I would bet it could be. You guys were mentioning about treasure hunting before a few weeks ago.
Yes, we like that.
That's something I used to do too. I used to have a good metal detector. I'd go to all these towns I used to run into around the railroad, and I had a map that showed all these old ghost towns. I mean, modern ghost towns. Yeah, these were towns that are abandoned. You would go into these towns and find the old sidewalks where the old church was, the old school. You would find, I found silver coins. I found all sorts of artifacts and doing that kind of thing. But you can't hardly get into some of these places because they're overgrown with trees everywhere. But if you can get a good spot to look. Did you know there was like $6 billion worth of treasure in the oceans? So. Yeah.
From all the shipwrecks through the years.
All the shipwrecks, all these hurricanes, and there's a few places down in Padre Island. If there's ever a hurricane in those areas, South Padre Island, you're not allowed to go on the other part of South or the other part of Padre Island where most of the people go, because they don't want metal detectors there. But South Padre, you can go down to that area, down by Brownsville, Texas. Whenever there's a storm, there's still people that's probably finding stuff whenever it washes stuff up. I mean, big pieces of gold, and
I've heard of that. I've heard of them finding gold down there. Absolutely.
There was like three shipwrecks in this one area close to Padre Island. But I was down there right after a big storm. I didn't go right during the hurricane, but if there's something that stirs up that ocean real good, that's one of that'd be my favorite area to go look for silver and gold jewels. I'm a treasure hunter too.
Well,
I would like to be.
well, we were temporarily, weren't we, when you lived near me?
Mostly we found screws
Nails.
and nails in my
Nails.
my driveway,
tabs.
which was great because
Pop tabs.
yeah.
Remember those days of pop tabs, and they just
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
pull them on the ground.
I don't know if anybody. We're all, we remember that, don't we?
Oh, we sure do. Speaking of ghost towns, there's a young man. I watch his channel. We may have to reach out. He bought a ghost town.
Really?
And he's living there. And
I think I've seen him.
He goes months without seeing anyone else.
I know.
Except, I think he has a dog, and
he's restoring it, isn't he? Is he trying to
No,
restore?
well, a little bit. Yeah, he may make it into where you can come for a destination, but oh my gosh, it's either a gold mine or a silver mine all through his property.
There's so many of them. Yeah.
Here's this other video too. We're gonna take
okay.
A peek
Yes. Oh, beautiful!
It's got awesome music. Is that you?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it.
See, this is another object that appeared like that.
This is something I caught on the way home one night.
Oh, do you want me to go ahead and let it play?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Let them talk.
Okay.
So I saw this thing was coming down. Jumped out with my tripod and camera, and all I got was a few seconds. The first couple seconds I had it on my camera froze up. So I shut the camera off and turned it back on, and I caught as it was disappearing from my sight.
Wow.
But it was
camera was acting
hard
real
to
sluggish too.
Focus this thing in my camera for some reason. It was putting off some kind of electronic field, I guess, that
it is. It's like a tail, I guess.
Camera.
Yeah, you can see it.
I can see it like a tail.
Here's the original
Here's
speed.
Right there it is. Yep.
Blinked out. Now I went to the second clip. Only a few seconds of that too. Here's slow-mo.
Well, he's coming into the atmosphere, right?
Yeah.
See that? Whatever it is falling into the.
Now,
that's cool.
To me, this could be. I thought it could be something that came down because I went home.
What do you think?
As soon as I went home, it's only about I stopped probably a half a mile from where I took this as my home, but I went home, and then I was upstairs downloading this onto my computer, and then I heard a big helicopter going over my house. I mean, huge. It was a military style helicopter going as fast as he could go, and he was headed towards where this thing was going.
Wow.
And I mean, it was just shortly thereafter. I mean, 15 minutes at least.
Yes.
And then I hear another YouTuber he did a quick live on his phone and said that he saw something going down Highway 13, which is only a few miles from where I'm at here, with a truck loaded down with something on the back with a tarp over it.
Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous?
Just gorgeous.
Yes, stop that. That is just breathtaking.
I know. It was one of those sunsets where it was like, wow. I probably took 100 pictures that night.
That is beautiful.
But that was on my way home from taking all those pictures that I seen this object. And I mean, I had to jump out of my truck in the middle of the road. Yeah, it's in a dirt road, so there's nobody behind me or coming. But I jumped out, and I'm out in the middle of the road trying to capture this thing going down in the sky. But then I was having troubles. My camera kept acting up. I'm like, what's going on here? Never have that problem.
No, but electrical.
Back there.
Yeah. It's like I had to shut it completely off. Sometimes I had to take the battery out and then restart it. But
yes.
This time I just turned it off and turned it back on. I think I did have to take the battery out. I probably missed, 20 to 30 seconds of video just because the camera froze up. But when you have a helicopter going over your house after that, and then somebody else reported they seeing something on a big truck with a escort going down the same highway that's pretty close.
Yes.
Maybe they picked up something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, that summer that, we saw our object in April.
Right.
And that whole summer was Jeeps went down our dirt road for a whole summer.
They're looking for stuff.
So,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
we still had activity that summer too. That's when we watched the lights turn red, green, blue at the back of the property, back at the woods. And that's when they called it swamp gas.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
That was their favorite story. Yeah.
Yes.
No, that was the favorite one. Yeah. Swamp gas.
Swamp gas.
It's gas. Yeah.
That was 1966. So
I remember that.
Yeah.
When you told that story on Marv's football, it was an awesome story. I remember,
Well,
it's the only one I've ever known of where, I'm sure there are others, but an entire family plus relatives had the same experience.
And when everybody sees it like that and still remembers it for that long,
it's
you've
vivid.
definitely caught something. Yeah.
And what was I going to say? It went out. It went out. It flew away.
It came right out. Reid is also a musician.
Yes, we'd like you to play something for us.
Yes, serenade us
again.
Yes, you play this in, and yeah.
We got to hear some more great music.
We don't want to leave without it. That's right.
No.
Well, let me see if I can get this old thing warmed up.
Okay.
Okay. We're talking about the guitar, right?
Right. My amp. I have to turn the amp on. And now that I have the modern day amps is connected to your phone.
Yeah.
Really?
Here's my Spark amp. It says connect. So let's get on. Now I'm connecting to my my amplifier. Connecting, supposedly. Yeah, successfully connected. So now I can sometimes I like to just do this here. It says create. I can smart jam with Dave here. And he just says, well, let's jam. Well, I got to get my guitar out.
Wow. This is amazing.
Is that just a program then?
Right. It's an application that comes with the amp.
Okay.
And once you get it set up.
Let's see. I want to get Reid so he's bigger in the picture here. So bear with me.
All right.
We're going to experiment here. I guess let's see. We want. I know. Probably have to take you and me out, Lynn.
Well, take me out. I want to hear. I'm here to hear Reid.
I know. So I'll take you out. I'll bring you back.
Now he's going to compose what I just played there a little bit and put something to it. don't really sing when I'm playing guitar. I have done some singing.
Oops. I'm playing around here again. Reid, we can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
We can't hear you.
You can hear the guitar?
Yes.
Yeah, my microphone is way over here.
Okay.
If you wait for me to sing something.
Okay. We've got questions coming in. I'm going to write them down. They want to know how old you were when you started playing the guitar.
Let's see. I was 22 years old.
22.
I've already been playing a lot this morning. I'm sorry.
Are you tired? That's okay. It was good. It was good.
They loved it. Wow.
I've started playing my guitar more with my videos because the older I get, my fingers are not working as good as they used to.
I understand.
My fingers are not as good as they used to be, and they hurt. My thumb hurts a lot, and you use your thumb a lot to put pressure on your fingers, you know.
Yes.
And I get this pain right in here. That's usually when I say I've had enough.
You can't do it no more. You know, I go get little injections from the doctor sometimes. They hurt, but then they free your fingers up. You know.
Well,
what was it? Red. Sanford and Son.
have you guys ever heard of this product here?
Fingers. What is it? Oh, silver. Is that silver? No. C60. C60?
Yeah.
No. What is C60?
Look up Purple Power or C60. Yeah.
Purple Power.
Yeah. And
Is
C60.
Okay. Purple Power and C60.
It says it amplifies energy, vigor, and performance.
Oh, is that for women?
It's for whoever wants to amplify your energy and vigor.
Is that a men or a women only product?
It is for everybody.
It's anyone.
But you know,
I'm sorry.
Give her a minute. Give her a minute, Reid.
We all got to have a little vigor. In fact, I'm going to have me some vigor right now.
Yeah. Okay.
This is organic MCT coconut oil.
Oh,
yeah. But it has
coconut oil is good for you. Yeah,
carbon 60 in it. Now, I don't plug this guy's. I don't get paid nothing for showing this guy's product, but he has a great product. There's another guy you ought to get on to interview because I've seen him a couple times do his interview about this product he developed.
Do you know his name there? What's his name? Or I can look him up. Just look up Purple Power. And okay.
The guy has been on a couple of really good interviews, and he talks about what this product is and why it was developed. One thing I liked about it increased the lifespan of these rats. So, you know, hey, if it's good enough for them,
if it's good for the rats,
if it's good enough for them damn rats, it's good enough for me.
If it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander.
It increased the lifespan of these rats. Now, these rats aren't being treated good either. These are the lab rats, you know, the worst kind of rats. They've been infected with all sorts of stuff, but they increased their lifespan for 35% up to 100%. So,
hey,
and without any problems.
Well,
okay. I've got a question. I have a question. Helen Dixon wants to know: have you been noticing more activity in the sky?
Sure. Every day.
Every day.
Okay. The last few days, I haven't been able to get outside. I'm uploading a video right now. It should be uploaded already, but I'm behind a few days because I had a funeral to attend to. My wife's sister passed. She was
so sorry.
She had stage 4 cancer, and she was suffering for last month or so. She was in
awesome.
hospice, but her days are done on this earth now. She's with our Lord. But
Yes, yes.
you know, so I had to take my wife. She's been living with her daughter right now in Quincy, Illinois, because she can't. She's had a health problem too. She's been helping her, and my wife needs help too, but she's on oxygen. But it's kind of a hard situation when you got to get a wheelchair, motorized wheelchair to help her get around now, and so. You know, I had to go and help her out for the last few days. But the thing about all these objects I've been catching, I get behind sometimes because it's almost every day I go out and I see something or I catch something. And you know how it is trying to edit stuff.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time.
And does all of ours. Reid, I want to tell you, our whole community is giving. They are so sorry for your loss, and they're giving their condolences.
And I really feel like we ought to pray for Reid and his wife and his family
and daughter.
That I think we should just take a minute and just ask the Lord to be with your family and bless you all and give you healing in your family.
Thank you, Lord.
Lynn, do you want to take it?
Yes, thank you, Heavenly Father. Thank you for our dear brother Reid. And Father, we lift up him and we lift his wife and his daughter and entire family to the throne of grace. And we thank you for touching them. We know by the stripes that Jesus took that we are healed. And I thank you right now for giving them comfort of the Holy Ghost and giving them healing and strength for the days ahead. We just thank you. What a blessing he's been to us in our community today. And just thank you for him in Jesus' name. Amen.
Yes, well, I'll say amen, right? So be it. Amen.
So be it.
And that's one thing that's got me through all these years is before I even got on a trip, got on a train, I would always pray to my Father in heaven. Please, guide me and strengthen me and keep me safe. But
amen.
Those are the things.
And he did.
Oh, yeah.
He million miles.
Yep. And there's been so many incidences over the years. I'm thinking, thank you, Lord, for saving me from that mess.
Yes,
we always pray when we take a trip in our car, and we ought to do it every time we
always do.
Yeah.
I feel.
Speaking of,
I wouldn't be. It wouldn't feel right if you didn't. It's like,
yeah. I got to have those traveling mercies, those angels round about your vehicle and everywhere you go. And I also. Yeah, you got to say it. Go.
That's right. Speaking of traveling, we'll be traveling up to see Ann. Lynn. Yeah, Lynn is going to go see Lynn.
New York.
Yeah, I'm going to see Ann real soon. A couple weeks, but we have calendars and we're marking off the days. And then she and I, in 2 weeks from today, are going to do the live, aren't we?
Well, we should be together. I was hoping that was going to be a secret, but
oh well, my big mouth, women and my big mouth.
It's okay, but
it's okay.
Yeah, but you want to pray for anytime you get in that vehicle, really.
Yeah.
That's
also, when I do, I pray over I ask the Lord to be with all of our children and grandchildren and all of our family, because our dad, he used to say that his mom prayed for him, and he said it's the prayers of it's the grandmas and the grandpas praying over, it's that connection, that bond, So Lynn and I know we had a praying grandma that prayed for us. We have a praying mother that prays for us. You got to pray over your children, even when they're our age. And our mom is.
It reminds me of my grandmother. She lived 102 years old, and she was always, every time she'd see me, she's like, "I'm praying for you, Reid." I said, "Thank you, Grandma. Thank you."
Yes, we need those. We need to pray for each other, and in this community, in our Ann Lynn, we pray for each other, lift you up, and if you ever need anything, we are, we want you to ask, and we'll pray,
That's right. Ann, are you going to put our email up there so that if anyone would like to join us?
I will in a little while here.
Okay.
I don't want to waste a minute with Reid. Reid, do you still have time with us this morning?
I've got a lot of time this morning.
Okay, because we don't want to take up his whole day, but this is so wonderful. This has been so.
I enjoy your show. I enjoy being with the Fugel fam.
Yes, they're the best.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
Adam is great.
whenever I first met you guys or heard you guys on Mark Fugel, I was like, wow, that's going to be another good show a good bunch of people to get to. I didn't know you guys going to do live shows like you are now.
Well, we didn't either, did we, Lynn? This just kind of.
You just decided, let's do live shows, interview people.
It's since we can't be together physically every week, so this is just. I said, well, we'll have to go a new direction for now.
Reid, you are number 15. You are our 15th guest.
Well, see, I wanted to get on it before you guys got too big, you know.
I think you got a bigger channel than ours.
Yeah.
You're the first place I've ever came live on, and got
we're so honored.
Got my mug up here looking at it. It's like
I did wonder about that. So that is awesome.
I have tried to go live a couple times and I chickened out. I'm like, what am I gonna say? What am I gonna do? What
I think
I could show you video after video, but I'm just not a big commentator or a big talker.
They want you to come back already. They want you to come back for a repeat performance.
Absolutely.
I would like to tell you some stories that I know that angelic help, is always out there, but
go ahead.
You want to hear
one absolutely. Yes.
Well, this is a story that happened when I was like 14 years old, 15, going on 15. And I'm out in a field doing something for my dad. He wanted me to go pick up this tractor, bring it back to the farm. It was a few miles away. So I drove this old truck over there out on the farm. I wasn't old enough to drive, but you could drive, out there in the country. And I drove this truck out there to get in this field to get this tractor started and bring it back home. And I wasn't paying attention to all the details about where I was putting my hand about starting this tractor, because I had to short it out from the starter, the solenoid, the starter switch wasn't working. So I was down there with my hand between the frame of the tractor and with the screwdriver in my hand, and I started the tractor. So now the tractor is started up and it's running, I mean, full blast. But something happened that I didn't know was going to happen. I had my arm in a position where it got caught between the frame of this bucket on the front. The hydraulic lift pushed it, where it was going to come up. As soon as the engine started revving up, pressure built up, and this thing was going to catch my arm and probably cut me off right here at the shoulder area. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, the engine died just like that. Bam. This tractor never died once you got it started. It never died like it. John Deere never hardly dies, you have to kill it, but this thing died in an instant, and the pressure relieved from my arm. There was a moment there I was like, oh no, I was caught. Yeah. I'm gone. I'd probably been laying out there in that field, bleeding out and dead. But the thing was, as soon as that thing stopped and I was able to pull my arm out, I'm laying on that field just crying like a baby, because I thank God, you saved me, but to me, those angels are there to help you for a reason. See, I would have never had my children. I never would have done anything, 14 years old, 15 years old, you don't do nothing. But that's the beginning when I noticed that things happen for a reason, Nothing is by chance, really.
No, it isn't. And boy, I tell you what, there's another channel that I listen to usually every morning, and it's just for maybe 15 minutes, and it's kind of like what I do with God's promises, but it's more. So they're Very big channel.
Mhm.
Today they were talking about angels, and ooh, I got goosebumps when you start talking about, because they, it's like the unseen world
I know.
is more real than what we're actually seeing.
And that's
What we see in front of us, the unseen world,
a lot of
the
times
spiritual world.
I'll be out. I play music that I don't really, sometimes I play a flute. I can't see my flute, but I've taken that outside, and I always say I'm playing for the angels. I'm playing for the unseen right now. Plus myself. I
Sure.
play because it feels good. I'm in nature, and it's almost like it's a it's just the way to tune into the way you are, the beautiful
Mhm.
nature that you're in right now. When I can get that feeling, sometimes you just don't feel like it, but there's
No.
days I'll go out there and I'm like, wow, this is a beautiful moment, so I'll add some music, but I think in my mind, this is for those angels who watch over us,
Yeah.
they like,
Mhm.
I imagine they like to hear something different than us,
Sure.
whining and crying about this and that.
Right. Right.
You know what we say? Does anyone have a testimony, right? And you'll get people. They just give you the money, don't they?
Right.
Just the
When, when
money,
when when do we call on the Lord, the most? When we're in
right?
trouble. When do we call upon, help, And
Yes,
Right. But we should call on him every
right,
day, and thank
right.
him every day, and if you don't play an instrument, I don't play anything,
Yeah,
but you have a mouth and you can
right.
sing. Even if you can't sing, you can sing, but you open that mouth and just, thank
I,
the
I
Lord.
sang, I used to sing every day. I'd get up and do this thing on Sing, another app, but I was doing it just to be creative, sing
Yes.
songs and play my guitar. And I probably sang, I counted up, there's probably over 5,000 songs I sang within 5 years, so I was singing way too much for me, but it's like, that's a lot. Then all of a sudden one day I just said, I had enough. I am not doing it no more. But I still enjoy singing, whether it be karaoke or trying to sing in a church or sing,
Mhm.
a song you
Mhm.
like. I've made a few songs. I've got many words written down. I've just never really put them to music. Um,
There's
just
going to be a lot of music in heaven. There is a lot of music in heaven.
right. That's right.
Well, when we leave here and we are there, it's going to be all kinds of instruments.
The music
absolutely.
the music is all around us that we can't even hear. The
Yeah.
music of the spheres is what these old composers used to say. They were hearing music of the spheres, like Beethoven, Mozart,
Hmm.
and maybe they were hearing something that we can't hear. Maybe God let them hear this, just so
Yes,
they could bring us some beautiful music.
yes,
Yeah, because
yes.
who was even deaf? There
Yeah,
was a composer that was
right.
deaf.
Beethoven went deaf.
Yeah, yeah, but he still composed beautiful
Sure,
music.
sure.
He heard it,
I
so he
He
heard it.
hear it. Yep.
Yeah, it's
Well, there
awesome.
is a deaf singer. I just saw her on the Huckabee show. Now she was on America's Got Talent, and she went deaf at about, I'm thinking 12 or 14 years old. So she had her hearing for a long time, but she's completely deaf,
Wow.
and she practices. She said that her your vocal cords are a
Mhm.
muscle, and she trains them. She works very hard, and she sings like an angel, and
Yeah,
she sings on key. Isn't that amazing?
I know. That is nice. If you could do
Amazing.
that
And
when you can't hear yourself singing,
no, you cannot. She cannot hear herself sing, not even in her head, like you said. No,
that is hard.
but
Um, I
she's
do
just
have.
an. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go, but I had wrote down that. Now, who was it? Read your grandmother or great grandmother that saw the Trail of Tears.
Well, it was it wouldn't be it'd be before the trail. She was after the Trail of Tears, but she was
Right.
my
Was
grandmother. Yeah, she told me the story of coming over from Missouri in a wagon. She was born in 1890, I think it was 1880
Mhm.
something, and my grandfather was born in 1883 or something like that. But anyway, they both came over to Oklahoma, which at the time was called Indian Territory. It wasn't even a state yet, but they made their home in where our farm was. They had a dairy farm, and can you imagine having a farm in Oklahoma in the early 1900s? They had the Dust Bowl days that went through there.
Yes.
They had the land run.
Yeah.
Plus, it was all that's where they forced a lot of Native Americans to go to that place.
Mhm.
You
Yes.
know, and I don't know why they forced a lot of the Americans, Native Americans, went there. But our town had the Kickapoo Indian were in that area, and they were always good people to me. I only had one who was a bully to me, but
There's always one, and no matter who it is, right?
That's right.
they'd be over there talking a different language and pointing their fingers at me, and there always had to be one that had to be
Sure.
But that was my grandmother was telling me about the where the buffalo used to roam. I mean, where they used to waller out. I could still see where she was pointing to, where they left big old wallers in the ground. It's like, and that was 80 years before then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but she said, yeah, they were all over the place. Wildcats.
Wow.
Yeah. But just coming over this country, I mean, going into that state with a wagon, it's hard to imagine. It's like,
It
of
is.
course, I listened to my grandfather talk about Model T's, Model A Fords, and stuff like that. But the tractors that they had to work with beginning, most of it was done with hard labor.
Mm-hmm.
Animals and big old horses and plows and stuff like that. But
Yes.
yeah, it wasn't an easy job. My dad wanted me to stay on the farm with him, and I couldn't take it no more. I think I left it when I was 17.
Did you have a large family? Did you have a lot of
Yeah,
brothers and sisters?
I have three brothers, and my mother died back in 1969 when I was 14 years old.
Oh.
And yeah, my dad remarried a couple years later,
Mm-hmm.
and this woman had 6 kids. So ended up having a family with 10, children.
Big family.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I was stuck in as one of the oldest, so I left. I couldn't take no more of of that much chaos going on in my family.
But did you have cows? Did you say
Oh yeah.
cows
Yeah.
or?
My dad had cows. My grandfather still had some cows. My uncle had some cows. We all lived within this mile with a bunch of dairy cattle going on.
Mm-hmm. And so, was the milking, was that done manually, or had they by that time
Well, we've
gotten more automated?
They've had automated,
Mm-hmm.
since they
Mm-hmm.
began, but it was always the type that you had to. They still do. You still have to wipe
You have to
off their, bag,
clean them up and hook them up.
and then you put
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
nozzle on there, and
Mhm.
you got to take care of all the milk flow all the way to the tank and filtered it and make sure everything's clean and all that good stuff. But it was just a constant every day, 2 times a day.
Yeah.
After about time I reached 16, I was out of there because I needed to work anyway to help out my dad and my family. And I ended up having to quit school when I was like 17 and a half. I took a GED test later on, but I
Mhm.
couldn't even, I was going to flunk out of senior high. They told me I flunked. I said, I'm not taking it over. Sorry, I'm done.
Mhm.
No more high school
Mhm.
for me. But I started my first job working in a car dealership, changing oil, and washing the new cars up and washing the old cars came in. And I had fun back in 1960s, running or 70s, early 70s, running these old hot rods they'd bring into the Dodge dealership.
Oh, that
Yeah.
was the time to have a
That
car.
was it. Muscle
We know
cars.
that, don't we,
I,
Lynn?
I was
That was
16 and I had this job where I
wow.
drove muscle cars all over the place. And
Oh,
Well,
and I
yeah.
couldn't believe they trusted me to ride this Super Bee or this Charger. Take this Charger 440 Magnum down there and wash it. Okay. I will.
We had I was going to say, when I was first married, we had a Charger. It was either a Charger or Super B.
Yeah.
I mean, these cars were like awesome.
I know.
Well, my first car, now it was not a muscle car, but you'll appreciate this, Reid. It was a 1966 Ford Fairlane.
Good car.
Had a big engine in it.
I know.
You know, the steering wheel about this big and this skinny.
I know. It's amazing. You get behind a car like that now after driving these modern cars. You're like, wow, this is
they're a boats.
Wow.
Our mom and dad, they had a Pontiac Bonneville, wasn't it, Lynn? A Pontiac Bonneville.
Yes, they had Bonneville. Yes.
It was a big V8, you know, and I'm 16 years old, got my driver's license. They let me drive it. I'd go up and down the road, you know, 80 mile an hour.
Well, everyone drove 80 back then.
No seatbelts. Yeah.
No seatbelt.
No seatbelt.
No, just 16 years old, you know, just had your license for, I don't know, 6 months and woo-hoo!
And our father was a policeman.
Oh, no.
Oh yeah, I went airborne with him in the car before. He and
the more we screamed, the faster he'd go, 100 miles an hour.
And we go over a railroad.
Oh my gosh!
Go boom. We go airborne. Yeah, it's scary. But yeah, you think about that. Then, hey, when my first daughter was born, we had a Chevy Vega, and I took in a board, I think, and I put it across the back seat, made a little bed for her, and I would drive 110 miles from our house to my mom and dad's, put her in the back. She's free. She's just there free.
Oh, yeah.
You know, going, 80 miles an hour on the expressway.
Measures it all. I know.
Yeah.
Oh, we made it. Or the back of a pickup truck. We made it, guys. We made it.
Yes. Just about every Saturday night, our aunt and uncle would pick us up, and mom and dad would get in the front with them, and us three kids are getting that back of that and go like 6 miles to town on dirt road. And our uncle would drive pretty fast, and we would just
being raised up out there in the country, and I seen enough of wrecks because we lived between two bars, two clubs, two nightclubs. They've called.
Oh yeah.
But one would close down an hour before the other one, so all these drunks would get in their cars and head down the road to this other place to stay open for another hour. So we needed another drink, but it's like. In between there, if it was a muddy road, we lived on a dirt road, so it was clay. Actually, it was red clay. So if it got wet, it was like really slick. You would just go to the ditch, even by just sitting still almost, It's like, but these people would be in the ditch. They'd be on the side of the road. There'd be all sorts of accidents throughout the years. I'm thinking, it got me thinking. I'm like, wow, you really got to be careful. It's like. You could have this thing. Nobody wore a seatbelt, so there was a lot of them thrown out of the cars. Vehicles and laying on the ground. My gosh, what's going on here?
Yeah, our dad saw a lot of young people in fields and roads. Yes, lots of them. Unfortunately, and he would go and warn the parents when he saw they had a muscle car. He'd say, "Don't be giving your kid this car." And they who are you to tell us? And then unfortunately,
he's a good driver. He's a good driver.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it didn't always wind up that way.
Yeah. He had to make some hard knocks on people's front doors. That was for sure. But it's a different time. I think I wish that the kids now, like my grandkids, could just peer into what we grew up with. It is a different time. And it wasn't all great, but it was simpler for sure.
It was pretty rough to me. I mean, you look at the old cars where they had the steel dash on them, and it's like there was no forgiveness. If you hit something,
you hit it. That's for sure.
No safety glass, hardly. I don't think.
No.
But they started putting lap belts in, so people like, I don't want to wear that thing.
Yeah.
And then when they come across like your shoulder,
really cut you off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really bad. But please wear your seatbelt.
Right. If you ever see
Yes,
anybody that don't wear them and they get in an accident, believe me, you need it. But
Yes.
Yeah, I don't go anywhere without a seatbelt. That's right.
No, yes.
the
I used to our dad didn't like to wear his the last several years of his life, and
Right.
I'd say, Dad, the car won't go. It won't start if you don't put your seatbelt on.
Yeah.
I don't think he believed me, but he
Was he-
finally put it on.
Was he a highway patrol or a police officer?
City,
City.
let's see, Clay, were we a town or a city? City,
Yeah.
aren't we? Weren't we?
It was a
little dinky town city.
City
yeah, it
cop.
was a town I
Now
guess
it's grown up.
now it's
and
a city. It's a suburb
yeah.
of,
Now it's a
of
city.
Detroit, but I would
Yeah.
say at that time it was a little
But
little
Wait,
town, little horse
At
town.
that time, though, at that time in this is you had the drugs were really coming out in the 60s, and
Right.
you had Vietnam, and you had a lot of them coming home and a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
So they had a lot of the police officers dealt with a lot of a lot of kids high.
Well, Dad was he was the he
had a-
went to the high school and did the drug talks. You know,
Right.
Yeah.
he would carry a little briefcase and he'd go in and he'd set up and show this is what this is. You know, he gave the drug
Right.
talk. You know what to stay away from them.
And
Yeah.
eventually he had a dog. He was he had a German
Canine
Shepherd
officer.
Canine officer
Canine.
he became a canine officer.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
our first-
we had a dog at home. We had Hilda. Her name was Hilda. We had
Hilda.
He
had
didn't
to
come home
go-
and start barking if you had something in your drawer, did he?
Oh no, we were cop
hey,
kids. Nobody
were-
invited us to anything.
You want to be it was very hard dating as a
You
cop.
you were
kid.
you wanted to be
Nobody wanted to date you.
We never got invited to parties.
Nobody. And if you know you were at a party, they thought you were the narc.
You were the
So-
narc. No.
Yeah.
They're goody two shoe narcs. That's what and it was difficult. That was difficult.
Kept us out of a lot of trouble, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Well, that's
The problem
true.
I've had being pulled over is I've always had a little longer hair, but the first
Yeah.
thing that comes out of a police officer's mouth, usually when they see somebody like this, they're like,
Yeah.
"Are you on drugs? Do you do drugs? Have you ever done drugs? Do you like drugs?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "No, I work on the railroad. I can't even drink. I can't drink. I'm on call 24 hours a day, and
Yeah.
I'm late for work."
Our
Well-
dad did not like anybody with a beard. There was just something about a beard.
No, he
And-
had beard
He had a beard
phobia.
but some of
I
his
get
best
all-
friends.
I gotta go till you get the hair, and I'm riding around with a sticker on the back that says Harley Davidson. That you're a magnet to be pulled over, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, you
Yes,
are.
you were. Yes, you were. But some of his very best friends ended up having beards, and he got over that, of course.
Well, now our brother and especially his one son, they look like their Duck Dynasty is where we live. We have a lot
Well,
of Duck Dynasty kids.
Morris looks like Santa Claus. There's just,
Yeah, because his hair's short now, but his hair was always long.
yeah.
And
but right now,
but they
he
have the
looks like-
beards. Yeah, they have the long
mean,
beards.
His is like here now, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
right. I mean, and I say, oh, you look like Santa Claus, and he gets so bad, but I love him.
Yeah, we
Right?
do.
I
He
love
should
our
make
brother.
money at Christmas time.
He should.
Yeah. Oh, I hope he didn't see this.
Oh,
He'll be
hey,
so
I have
mad.
to say before we go, T. Prada said, "Wow, my dad was a cop and had the first police dog in our town. Oh my gosh."
Our dad
Dating?
did
Question
too.
mark. My dad stopped an old boyfriend for speeding. Laugh out loud. Where we have we're just in the same boat right there. That
Oh
boat.
yeah. If I went out with on a date, Dad knew I had to be home at a certain time, and he was in the cop car in the driveway waiting. That happened a few times, so that
Yeah,
was not fun.
Travelers Guild said there seems to be a lot of Santas out there nowadays. Laugh out loud.
There are.
I'm getting to look. I don't know if I get any bigger. I'm going to be Mrs. Santa Claus, so I can't complain.
Well,
Just dress me up in red, and I'll be like
man.
Mrs. Santa Claus there.
Oh, man. Well, Ari,
well.
Reid, this has just been the most, I just loved it today because we got to know you better. You have such a interesting life, and that's what our show is about. We just want to get to meet people and share. We share each other's stories, and you have some.
It's
really
fun
cool.
to be able to call in to Marv Fugel, but he doesn't give you more than 5-10 minutes if that, It's like, and it's hard. He doesn't really ask too many questions. Like sometimes if he just asks a question, it'd be easier. But I don't go on there scripted or anything. So
right.
I just want to show him something, usually a video. But and it's always so good to have somebody that's receiving and likes to look at your stuff, But
it's been beautiful.
And then you get to meet all the different Fugel fams out here and all the people that you enjoy watching and listening to. And so it just gives you an opportunity to. I enjoy when you bring people on so we can get better to know them.
Right, and so we're always looking for somebody. And I maybe that's the key right now. We're just going to put that up. If you would like to be with us on the Ann Lynn Show, I need you to email me right here at lynnan1740@gmail.com. If you would like to, and because I'm always reaching and out and trying to find, interesting people in the Fugel fam and out of the Fugel fam. Last
we've
Thursday
had several now. Out of
Bob
the
Wells
fam.
of RV Living. That's a
pretty over 50. Pretty over 50.
Yes. And what I have we're going to show who's coming on next week. We have a lovely lady, and she's going to be with us next week. Let me bring her up right now. Florida Patriot 71. On the next all new live, the Ann Lynn Show, we welcome Florida Patriot 71. We will be talking about all things dogs and dog training and dog preparedness, and getting to know Florida Patriot 71 a little better. So go right now and subscribe to her channel and be here on Wednesday, March the 31st at 10 a.m. Eastern for Florida Patriot 71. Yeah, and we're back. And so, yes, she's going to be, we're excited to have her on next Wednesday, and she's going to tell us her journey. She is on a journey right now. She's on a journey. And we really all need to keep her lifted up in our prayers. When you say your prayers, remember Florida Patriot 71. She's on a journey. And so we're going to talk about that next week. And also we're going to talk about dogs, because she's helps to train dogs, and she's quite an expert on dogs. So we're excited. We love dogs, don't we, Lynn? I've got grand dogs. I have grand baby dogs. And now I've got dogs in heaven. I can't wait to be reunited.
That you do. That you do. We all do.
My old Kodiak that went a year ago, unfortunately. But yeah, so next week, be here next week with us too. But we do want to ask Reid, will you be back? Can we have you back?
Sure.
Great. We want to have you back.
Great.
And when you come back, we will prepare a little bit, or we'll get together, you and I.
All right.
We'll prepare so we have some pictures and more videos to show. And oh gosh, by the next time you come on, no telling what you're going to have caught on camera.
That's right.
I know.
I know. You just never know. You might capture something tonight that, or later today. So, Lynn, you have anything you want to say?
Well, Maria C7 just subbed to Florida Patriot.
Oh, wonderful. Yes.
So thank you. Thank you all.
I should have said that.
And Barefoot Last put up the Barefoot Last put up the channel. Yes.
And I want you, hey guys, moderators, please put up Reid's channel too, RE55, because we want to make sure if you have not subscribed already, we want you to be one of his subs.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I know it's been running, so I just thank you very much. Well, Ann, we want to thank
Reid.
First of all, Reid.
Thank
Thank you so much for coming. It's been such a blessing to have you here, and I look forward to the next time that we can all three be together again.
Yes, and I had said, I think on a different broadcast, that said, you're just kind of a Renaissance man. He just does a little. He knows so much. You're just,
it is true.
you know, you are.
Well, you've kept up. You've kept up too. You've kept up on the electronics.
I had plenty of time to study and do things out there on the road. That's a good thing.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. And
that's amazing.
And also, guys, people, we want you to remember Reid's wife and daughter in your prayers
entire
too.
Family.
Yes, and over Reid also. Yes, we just make sure, guys.
Thank you.
We pray for each other.
That's right.
We sure do.
Yes. So Reid, I just want to say a very heartfelt thank you for being with us today. This has been awesome.
Wonderful.
What would you like to say before we let you go?
It's just been my pleasure, and I enjoy your shows, and I enjoy your Bible verses you read every day. But
thank you.
That's it. I thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and we'll be in contact, and we will be setting you up to come back very soon. Okay.
Right.
Thank you. All right. Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Let's give them a warm thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see
we
you
better
soon.
give him some granny kisses.
Oh yes, we got to give you granny kisses. You ready? You gotta catch them.
You gotta catch them. You ready?
Are you ready?
Okay.
Are you ready? All right, ready? Here we go. Granny kisses. Mwah.
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 Mwah. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, we both said at the same time. What an awesome day with an awesome guest. Oh, how wonderful.
I knew today was going to be special. This was special.
Oh, I know. I got
goosebumps at times.
I tell you what, each of our guests have been such a blessing, haven't they? And Reid is just no exception. He's just right there on that blessing list. He's number 15. Isn't that amazing, Ann?
It is amazing. And if you would like to be, I said, in the Red Book of Interview.
The Red Book.
Come on and
right down there.
If you want to be on the show, you know what? Everybody has a story, and everybody's story, your life story, is interesting.
It is. It's interesting to us, and we know it's interesting to you because they're telling us right now they loved it. They love Ari _55, aka Reid. They loved Reid, and the chance to be together. I think that's what we enjoy too.
Very much. And so with that, I think we're gonna clink out. You got your coffee. I'm all drink out, but I got my coffee, and we can.
You ready?
Ready? Okay. Clink. There we go. Clink.
Oh, one more. Hang on. Okay. Sorry.
All right.
Hold on. Ready and clink.
Boom. Whoa! I hit my mic. Oh, sorry.
Well. Oh, wow. Well, love to everybody. Let's give some granny kisses out.
Well, we love you all. Thank you for being with us today. This has been wonderful. Please get a hold of me if you have a story to tell. And I know that you do, right?
And subscribe to Ari _55 and Florida Patriots 71.
Correct.
And all right. I got it right.
Give us a thumbs up. Leave us a comment. And we love you. Don't we, Lynn?
We sure do.
Okay. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.